Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new tutorial. I'm the Dids and today I'm going to be showing you an example of a way that you can lead into your videos. Now this tutorial is going to be me making this for my own purposes, so you guys are going to be able to see how I do this step by step, and it's going to be pretty cool and I'm really excited to show you guys this. So what I'm going to do is I just brought in some generic old Pokemon Blue footage. So that's going to be just the underlay. You can use it for many purposes, and practicality is not the issue here in this scenario. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new composition. I'm going to make it 400 pixels high, same width. You'll see exactly what I mean in a second. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to make a brand new solid. I'm going to just make it black. I think that's going to be easy for now. I'm going to put a ramp on it. Now you can pick and choose exactly what you want this to be, but I'm going to put a ramp on it. I think that'll make it look a little bit more cool, and again, you'll see exactly what I mean when it's done. So here I'm going to just expand the end of the ramp here, and I'm going to lower the opacity down to about 25, maybe let's start with 45%. Now what we'll do is we'll go to comp 1, drag comp 2 over this, and you can see it gives a really cool overlay effect. It doesn't necessarily get in the way too much, but it's there, it's noticeable, and it's awesome. One thing I am going to change though, I'm going to make this 325 pixels tall. I just think that that's going to be a little bit better. I can scale down the ramp a little bit. Good as new, like nothing had ever happened. Alright, so next step we're going to do is, because this is an After Effects tutorial and I'm going to be using this specifically for my After Effects tutorials, I'm going to drag in this After Effects logo, and I'm going to position this over here. And then what I'm going to do, can align this horizontally. If you need the align window, you just go to window align. It'll pop up right here, and you can align it horizontally to the left. I'm just going to keep it there, move it in a little bit. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in with my trusty dusty font. I'm gonna make it black. I'm going to put in After Effects tutorial. Going to scale it down so it fits. And I'm going to make a white stroke. You know what? Let's just leave it like this for now. Let's see how this looks. Alright, so I think that that's a good start. So you have this, you go back into comp 1, you see After Effects tutorial, and it's not as tall. I think that's a good height for it. It might not be a bad idea to put a drop shadow onto both the URL, which it already kind of had one, the image, but a little bit here and there, so it kind of stands out a little bit more. Again, you can maybe, if you choose to, put a white stroke onto the image, and that's only 1 pixel, so you can play around with that and see how that looks to you guys and do quite exactly what you want. So I'm going to zoom in oops, that's not what I wanted. We can redo here, change text color, there we go. Alright, so I'm going to zoom in a bit. There we go. And what's going to happen is we're going to blur it a little bit, so it'll come out of the blur here about a second. So about 2 seconds, we're going to start this text. And let's just say by the Eric Didier. I think that's pretty appropriate. And we can position that as such. Then what we want to do is we want to mask right about here. We might need to fix that actually, because if we do the position and we position this up, then we hold shift and M, and then we change the mask path. We can move this down, and it will essentially cut off everything essentially. So then we'll subtract, actually we might need add, and then flip the 2. Because, bear with me. If we go here, keyframe, go forward 15 frames, drop the position of the layer, the mask path goes right back up. Maybe move this up a little bit. Let's see what that looks like. Alright, so that looks good actually. The only thing I'm going to change is I'm going to change it so that comes up from the actual thing here. So 269.2, we'll change that here to 69.2. That is not the right one. Alright, what we'll do is we'll change the mask path to about there. We can move the whole layer up that extra little bit. That way, what happens is it kind of just comes down like this. What we can do in addition is we can hit F, which brings in the mask feather. So 31 pixels might be good. So it feathers a little bit in, so it's not so sharp of a line. 4 pixels might be decent. Let's see what it looks like there. Yep, I like how that looks. So then, when you go back, let's bring in drop shadow to it. Boom. When you go back into the composition here, you see how it looks a lot more clear, that stroke does when it's zoomed in, but I'm just going to keep it at fit. And what we can also do is bring in this After Effects URL. So let's do position, add a little bit of motion blur, F4 to change the panel here. Position this and start it outside the composition. And then about, let's do a second, bring it right back in. The After Effects tutorial part I'm going to keep as is. And what you'll see is I'm going to start with a Gaussian blur on the background. So you really don't see this too well. I can scale it up just to take the edges away there. Maybe change the blur to like 10 or so. So that's blurred out, and you have this cool intro coming in. And then what you would do, say at 4 seconds, is you would scale the blurriness and throw on a blur to the composition here. So what happens is you keyframe this blurriness, hit U to bring all this up, go forward say a second, back a couple frames, bring this way up, so let's say 18, about 18 is a good number, bring this to 0, and then what you can also do is you can hit T for opacity, keyframe the opacity there, drop it down to 0, and what you have is this wonderful tutorial overlay that comes in. The background layer zooms in, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to give you guys a real quick RAM preview of this. Hopefully it doesn't take an incredibly long time to render. And you can kind of see here with the line separation, because it's on a monitor, the ramp, you can kind of see a little bit of that. You can obviously play around with it to enhance the effect of it. But I think that this is a very effective way to introduce your videos and to give a general idea of what your viewer is going to be seeing. So let's take a quick look. Might need to change the speed on those keyframes, but generally speaking, those are pretty darn good looking, animations. So guys, if you learned something, if you like this video, if you can use this within your own videos, please leave a like. If you want me to make something like this for you, I do charge a small convenience fee, but that is it, and I will more than happily make this for you. Just leave a comment below, and I will be in touch with you and making you a wonderful graphic. Other than that, guys, leave a like, share this with your friends, and have yourselves a wonderful day. Thank you for watching.